If you've chosen this pathway, it's because you have a desire to improve your nutrition or your diet. This category can be a bit tricky and especially polarizing online. People have really strong beliefs about what's the best diet or most effective nutrition plan. But the truth is that there are many different diets out there that might work best for you. If you're after a personalized nutrition plan, I highly recommend going to see a trusted nutritionist or licensed dietitian. They'll be able to help you to determine the right approach for your goals, your needs, and physiology. If you're more of a do-it-yourselfer, I'd suggest just experimenting with a bunch of different diet protocols for different stretches of time to see which one feels best for you. What we're gonna be focusing on in this lesson are some universal habits that help to fuel and energize your body, regardless of your dietary preferences. Starting with, drink more water. Let's be honest, most of us need to be drinking more water. We've all had that experience of wondering why we feel like a deflated balloon, only to realize it's midday and we've had 2 coffees and barely a sip of water. From raging headaches to brain fog to unexplainable grumpiness, not drinking enough water has a bunch of consequences that can impact many other areas of your life. By committing to the habit of drinking more water, especially earlier in the day, you'll be surprised by just how different you feel. It turns out that maybe you weren't lazy or unmotivated after all, and you were just dehydrated. Plus, it has the added knock-on benefit of helping to regulate your appetite and improve your performance at the gym. The amount of water that you need to drink on a given day will depend upon a number of factors like your weight, how old you are, or how active you are. But the general rule of thumb is to aim for 8 glasses of water per day. An easy way to track this is to carry a water bottle with you everywhere you go. Figure out how many bottles of water you need to finish to hit your target and use that to measure your progress. Here's your simple habit. Drink 8 glasses of water a day. When you wake up in the morning, fill up your vessel of choice and down your recommended dose throughout the day. Next, pick 2 meals to keep on rotation. When I graduated college, I only knew 2 staple recipes for my diet, and one of them was mixed protein powder with water. It took me a few years of eating and feeling terrible before I was able to start turning things around, and one of the biggest game changers for me was to come up with a couple simple but nutritious meals that I could have on rotation. While it might be more sexy to whip up an original recipe 3 times a day, no one actually has the time to do that. Sometimes boring is the best way to make sustainable changes in your life. You can take a few hours to find 2 recipes that are simple and nutritious after you finish up this lesson, but here's what's worked for me. One of the best purchases I made right out of college when I definitely didn't have the money was a Vitamix. For the past 10 years, this blender has helped me to introduce fruit, vegetables, and vitamins effortlessly into my diet through my daily green smoothies. I typically throw in an entire bag of spinach, a couple apples, bananas, and an orange. And I'll have 3 smoothies for the next couple of days. Another go-to meal I make is cooking up a protein with veggies. Whether it's chicken, fish, or steak, I frequently cook a protein in addition to sauteing a side of veggies. Ditch the canned vegetables and go organic if you can afford it. And if you keep burning your food, it's probably because you've got your heat set too high. Here is your simple habit. Find 2 meals that you can keep on rotation. They should be nourishing, easy to make, and convenient to fit into your lifestyle. Then once you've selected them, try to fit them into a meal plan on a weekly, if not daily basis. There will be plenty of time to experiment and bring novelty into your diet, but you don't need to do it with each meal. And finally, keep a food diary. Whether your goal is to stack on muscle, cut weight, or stop feeling like a sack of potatoes, almost everyone can benefit from tracking their food consumption, even if it's just for 30 days. That's because tracking forces you to pay closer attention to what you're actually putting in your mouth. It keeps you accountable to yourself, and it also makes you pay closer attention to how food is affecting your energy levels. You might want to open up a good old-fashioned notebook to track what you're eating, or you could use one of a few apps. From MyFitnessPal to Noom and Second Nature, there are lots of meal tracking apps that are easy to get started with. Here's your simple habit. Choose your preferred tracking tool and input your food every day for 30 days. You can even use this to plan out your meals ahead of time. And now we have come to your big moment. While I'm sure that you love nothing more than to tackle all these changes at once, it's important to get really focused. So open up your workbook to exercise 4 to pick the one habit that you're gonna stick with for the rest of the course. You can use one of the 3 that I mentioned in this lesson, or you can come up with something that's more tailored to your own nutrition goals. Use the checklist in the workbook to pressure test your habit to make sure it's easy, specific, and intentional. Putting down your habit into writing is a really simple step, but it's incredibly important.